Well, if it's up to the federal judge in the Sean Diddy Combs case, Diddy's doomed to sit in his Brooklyn jail cell until he's sentenced on his Mann Act convictions. And Combs may possibly spend a fair amount of time locked up afterward. Today, the judge shot down Diddy's latest attempt at bail, citing, and I quote, violence, coercion, or subjugation in connection with the acts of prostitution at issue. Now, sentencing is set for October 3rd, and the feds are pushing for 4 more years in prison. But the question remains, is Diddy's fate really up to the judge, to any judge in any court? Possibly not. President Donald Trump has said he is open to the idea of pardoning Diddy, but reportedly wanted to see what happened with bail. Now we know. So while we wait for the next development, we've got a lot to talk about. I want to bring in somebody who's made these kinds of decisions herself. Tarlika Nunez-Navarro is a former judge, prosecutor, and defense attorney, is now the dean of the St. Thomas University College of Law. Thank you so much for coming on, Judge Navarro. Okay, you surprised by the decision to deny bail? Now, of course, right, this is a judge who's denied bail in the past, but things have changed. He was acquitted of the most serious charges. They briefed their arguments, still denied it. What do you think?
Jesse, I'm not surprised at all. I would be very surprised to the contrary if he did actually grant bail. This is a case built on violence, coercion, and threats, and I think the judge made that clear. And there's just no exceptional circumstances here why a bond should be granted.
Let me counter that, because I read their brief, and they basically said, okay, well, wait a second. He was only convicted of Mann Act violations. They looked at the case law. They cited other cases where nobody who was convicted of Mann Act violations that didn't involve a prostitution business, right? There was no financial gain. There was no sex trafficking. They, A, wouldn't have faced a prosecution like this. B, they wouldn't be sitting in jail waiting for sentencing. And they also said, look, we're putting together a very exhaustive bail package like we have in the past. Circumstances have changed. He's not facing the most serious charges. You should entertain this once again. He got his life back by being acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking. He's not going to do anything to jeopardize that. Whatever conditions the court will put on, we will do. And by the way, talking violence, one is an incident that was almost 10 years ago. The other one was, they basically said the violence that occurred with Jane, one of the accusers in this case, was basically, she might have instigated it. A lot of arguments they threw out. None of that you think that the judge should have considered a little more closely. Not that he didn't consider it, but didn't side with them.
Listen, I think the judge took into account what he heard at trial, and he can do so. Diddy has a propensity of violence, and that doesn't change with $50 million or with, $1 million. This statute is very clear. They must remain behind bars, absent exigent circumstances, and there are none.
His team also filed a motion for judgment of acquittal, basically getting the charges thrown out. They echo a lot of the arguments I just laid out. They sprinkled in a few other ones, like a First Amendment argument, basically saying, he wasn't engaging in prostitution, but amateur voyeurism, amateur pornography. He was videotaping these events, these freak-offs, these hotel nights. It was for personal use, that the intent was not to hire these men for sex work, but more their time. You think the judge is going to entertain that at all?
I don't. I think this is just standard procedure for a defense attorney, but I do not think a retrial will be granted.
What about the MDC? So I forgot to mention this too. They said the MDC is plagued with violence and issues. He's had a threat upon himself. The judge seemed to say, yeah, but security kind of protected him. Do you think that argument was, discounted, the dangers of the MDC where he's currently been since September?
You think you can look at it 2 different ways. You can look at it like the judge did, yeah, but he was protected, which he was, or he is actually in danger. But the jail has done a tremendous job to date on protecting him, and I don't see any reason for him to get out now. I think the judge got it right there as well.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.